All right. Welcome back to another Tech Talk. I'm your host, Josh from KeepItTechie. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy all you guys are here, to hang out. I got a good one today. I'm super excited again. You know what I'm saying? This my man TechG. I brought him in. What was that, like a year ago? It's crazy. It's been a year, since the last time I had him on the channel or whatever. But I wanted to bring him back because he's doing great things, on his YouTube channel, helping people get into the IT field. And I definitely wanted to bring him back so we can, chop it up again and just go through what he's doing on his channel to try to help people. So, how you doing, Tech G? What's up, bro?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you loud and clear.
All right. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. So, shout out. Let me give a couple of shout outs right fast. Salute to everybody that's in the building. But shout out AM1. Good to see you, man. And Berno M. Good to see you, man. And yeah, he say he here from Mental Outlaw, man. Yeah, I interviewed Mental Outlaw about last year too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. He's doing great things over there, helping people, learn Gentoo and other technologies. I know he's in the tech field too. I'm gonna try to get him on again. But shout out to Mental Outlaw as well. Dollar Washer, good to see you. Professor Black Ops, what's happening, man? I definitely appreciate you coming through, as well as lovely Angel Lady, which is my wife. That's Miss Keep It Techie in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. So Tech G, first thing I want to do is allow you to, kind of introduce yourself and tell people about what you got going on.
All right. So I'm Tech G. I got a YouTube channel called TechG. Website is called Technology G, GEE. Um, so I work in IT. I've been in IT for about 19 years, coming up on 20. Started off in the military. Well, actually started off in college by taking one class and failing it. But I didn't really actually kick off my IT career officially until about 2002. So I was in the military for 13 years, did all kind of different things. Got out the military, went back to school to get my master's degree in IT, my MBA. I've worked for some private companies here and there, done some other things, everything from IT research to just a whole plethora of jobs. But what I do now, another form of research currently with IT, but I also teach it. I do some stuff at a tech college where I kind of teach some stuff. And that's pretty much what I do professionally. On my YouTube channel, Tech G, I pretty much have a channel where I teach entry level IT, people, basically teaching people how to get into IT by actually walking them through various entry level certifications. And then, hopefully they can take that information, go out there and get a job. And then, depending upon what they want to do, they can go off and do all kind of wonderful things in IT, but I primarily try to push people towards cybersecurity because, that's
Hmm.
the big thing that's going on. But that's pretty much my story for the most part.
Okay, cool, yeah. And you're 100% right, man. It's cybersecurity is one of those big industries right now where they're needing a lot of people. So I definitely agree with you there. Especially like with all these different hacks and stuff that have happened, like the pipeline that happened on what was that, like 2 months ago or a month and a half ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, cybersecurity is definitely needed. They need people in that industry. So. Uh, Shout out to you for doing that, and as well as your school and everything. And like I was saying, Tech G, and like he said as well, he has a excellent channel that's helping people pass these certifications. But if you want to speak to that more, you can. Or if uh
Oh, so yeah, so right now, I have uh, two classes up, and I'm working on the third one. But basically, I put up entry level IT cert. So I start with IT fundamentals. This is like the most bare bones basic entry-level cert a person could attain. And that cert is really just designed to give people like a bird's eye perspective of IT. It's not, something that's going to change your life and you're going to go out there and start making $100,000 off. But I promote that cert because, there's a lot of people out there that just don't have any real concept of IT outside of the perspective of consumer technology. I mean, they know about iPhones and how to get on the internet and do various things, but they don't really have any understanding of it beyond that. And then I teach a class called A Plus. That's normally where most people tend to start off in IT, especially if you're going the path of networking or cybersecurity that I've gone down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently working on a Network Plus class. I'm still building lessons for that, and then after that, I'll be putting up information about cyber security plus. So it'll be IT fundamentals, A plus, Net plus, Security plus. Those are the 4 classes that will be on my YouTube channel for free. People, all you gotta do is just watch, take notes, and then I'll offer little other things here and there if you feel like the videos aren't enough for you. But so that's and then on my channel I just had little various conversations about IT and tech news, but that's pretty much all I really do on that channel.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this. This is kind of like one of my standard questions then. So if someone was trying to get into the IT, do you think they should start with like training like this or try to go the traditional route as far as school? And
Well,
go ahead.
it depends on what do you want to do in IT. So we have to address that question first,
Mm-hmm.
because depending upon what you want to do is going to present you various options for how to start. So if you come up to me and you're like, I want to be a computer scientist, well, you're going to have to probably go to college. And my path isn't for college.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to become a computer programmer, you're coding up stuff, you're doing all that wonderful stuff. That's not my lane. You're probably going to have to go to college or boot camp, tech college, or find some other free resources out there or very cheap resources out there. If you want to go into the path of like cybersecurity, yeah, my path is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to college to get it cracking in cybersecurity. The certs that I teach, they funnel people directly into, or they can funnel people directly into cybersecurity. So but like I said, you don't need college for it. So
Yeah, and I agree with you what you said earlier about that first course you were talking about, the IT fundamentals. That's for the people that haven't been in the field at all, and they just need to get a base understanding of how computers work, because you need that in order to move up into higher areas of IT. and
yeah,
and I know you speak to that all the time, basically saying that 6 months to a year or whatever, you could be working in the field just by following these certifications. And
yeah.
so I agree with you there, man. Now, as as far as resources, do you recommend, and I'm trying to ask this question so you can kind of just talk or whatever, but um technology skills, should this be the only thing they cover, or should they use other resources out there? And I know it's kind of a weird question. I'm just trying to get you
You're
to,
talking about as far as like what I offer?
yeah, what you offer. And basically
Oh,
what I'm
oh.
trying to get you to say is, and I'm basically walking you down, but use all the other resources out there as well as your training. That's kind of what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always tell people use at least 2 sources
Hmm.
whenever you're going for a certification or whatever it is you're learning. And that's including me. Like I say, if people come to my channel and they're like, hey, I want to learn A plus, I'm gonna watch TechG's videos. That's cool. You'll pass off my stuff. I got a lot of people that do. But I also encourage people to use other resources, whether
Hmm.
it's another free resource or another resource you got to pay for, whatever the case may be, just so that you can make sure you're getting everything you need to know so that you can pass. Because even though I got I got people who pass strictly off my videos. But there might be certain things in my videos where I might not go into extreme depth and you might need more clarification on it. And then somebody else might go into extreme depth and then vice versa. But regardless of how in detail somebody goes, the ultimate thing is when you guys go study for these certs with the hopes of actually sitting down to take the test, you got to remember you're the one that has to take the test, not me. I've already taken the test. You got to go out there and take the test and pass it, and hopefully pass on the first time go so you don't lose your money. But so it's important for you to make sure you're getting all of the information that you feel you need to get from however many sources you need to get it from, so
Mm-hmm.
that you hopefully do not waste your money and fail a cert. On you know what I'm saying. You can go in there hopefully being fully prepared as much as you possibly can to successfully pass one of these certifications.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Now let me ask you this. Do you recommend or do you offer um any type of hands-on style training, and do you recommend people go through that type of training as well? Because I mean, you probably already know my answer as well, or I want to hear yours though.
Well, currently, so on my main website, Technology G, so I sell study aids and study materials that comprise of like a bunch of notes, quizzes, practice tests, and I also sell virtual lab simulations that people can practice on. That's currently how my business is set up right now. Um, but that method it still requires you to essentially self study. And a lot of people are comfortable with self studying. I mean, I'm one of those people. I can, when it comes to certain IT things, I can self study, and that's all I need to do. But there are other people who still need the teacher student interaction, whether it's in a physical classroom setting, or it's through some type of virtual means. So I've actually had people ask me, can I actually teach them IT essentially through the internet? And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been sitting around here not trying, but coming up with different ideas on how to actually structure that. And so hopefully in the coming months, I'll be conducting classes with people who prefer the student teacher dynamic, where I'm actually teaching them in real time to get opportunities to ask me questions. And then I'm getting it set up to where I can show them labs on how to do certain activities related to whatever lesson we're talking about in real time as they're watching me do it, and they're doing it on their computer. So that's something that I'm currently working on right now
Mm-hmm.
to get set up. But ultimately, I'm a one man operation over here, so it's gonna,
Yeah.
it's kind of a slow motion process. But so it just really, basically, what I'm getting to, I'm trying to present as many options as I can through my particular website that meets certain needs. Like I
Mm-hmm.
say, I'm currently meeting the need of helping people to study on their own. But then there's also, like I said, another population of people that prefer the teacher student interaction. So I'm trying to get that set up for people who prefer to go that method. So, but it just really depends on how you prefer to learn. Me, I can study on my own and be just fine. But some
Yeah.
people, they just can't.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm the same way, man. I get kind of study on my own and figure things out, and actually master something just by playing around with it. It's difficult for me to like read the book without actually doing some type of hands-on training to
Hmm.
fully grasp it or understand it, where I can apply it in whatever situation it is. So I definitely agree with you there. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of my things. That's shout out to one of the things I try to say all the time. But shout out to the one Lightfoot. But he always says, or his little group is lab every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's great, slogan or whatever for people that are getting into IT field. You have to get that hands-on training in order to fully master, what you're trying to learn. And it all also depends on what you said with the way you learn. because not everybody learns the same exact way. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And some people could just watch your videos and pass, like you said, and some people just need that instructor teacher, type of relationship in order to, pass. So I definitely agree. Oh, go ahead. Were you finna add something?
Nah. I was agreeing with you. No, no, you're right.
Okay.
Like I say,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I say, the most important thing is how do you prefer to learn, and then that will present you various types of options for you to pick from. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm just a one man band. I can't do it all because I know. So, in addition to that, I'm also trying to create an actual real quote unquote school in my local area with
Mm-hmm.
various other IT professionals that I know. Most of them are family members, where we're actually, going out into the community, trying to. My goal is to really go out there into the hoods, or whatever the proper term is, urban area, well, black people. Let's just
Yeah.
keep it like that. Teach black people IT. That's in my local area. That's presenting some challenges, but
Yeah.
so, and I'm trying to do a couple things here, but at the end of the day, it's when you're a one man band operation, things can't go as fast as you envision them going. So
Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you this: Have you and this might be too personal, you ain't got to answer, but um, have you looked into grants or whatever or anything like that to assist?
yeah, yeah, I've looked into it, and so basically, if I were to go set up shop in my local community, I got two options. I got for profit or not for profit.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go the not for profit route, that would open me up to possibly attaining a bunch of grants from the federal government. And this is
Yeah.
like prime time to do it. So anybody out there who wants to take this idea and apply it in your local area, feel free to do it. But the federal government, due to all the hacking and cybersecurity, ransomware attacks, and all that stuff, Biden is in conjunction with the Pentagon. They're proposing to put like upwards of like $10 billion into the federal budget for 2022, dedicated just for cybersecurity efforts.
Wow.
And so what that means is they're going to be hiring a bunch of people to enter IT/cybersecurity, but they're also going to be dishing out a bunch of grants to try
Mm-hmm.
to, for various reasons that are directly related to cybersecurity efforts, even if it means educating and training people up.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all to say, one of the things I would like to do is possibly get my hands on some of that grant money, so I can go out there and do the necessary things that I feel like I need to do to make a direct impact with people I can reach out, touch, and see in real time
Mm-hmm.
to educate them on IT, cybersecurity, and all that stuff. So that's a possibility, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like I say, for the most part, I'm a one man band operation. I mean, I got some people interested in helping that live around the way from me, but it's still you know it's still a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now let me ask you this question, because this first, before I ask you that question, shout out to Kenny Conjo for the super chat. I definitely appreciate it. He says weekend greetings, keep it techie, G Lowry and everyone. I definitely like seeing this. I'm not home. We'll catch a playback. Salute to the IT professionals. Blessings and enjoy your weekend. Shout out to you, Kenny Conjo. I definitely appreciate it, man. That's one of the tech bros. He be putting out videos as well,
Okay.
in that field. So cybersecurity. So and then it was something I wanted to ask you. Oh, here we go. Let's get to the money. So how much do a lot of these jobs pay, or how much can people expect to get once they get into the field or start making?
So with cybersecurity, because that's my lane, my main lane of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Entry level job, cybersecurity. I'm talking about entry level, meaning you don't have any real experience. You just, you got some certs and you're out there going to get your first job. Realistically, you'll probably be looking at anywhere between 40 to 50,000 starting off. That's not a lot of money, but then again, it can be classified as a lot of money depending upon how you look at it. And what I
Mm-hmm.
mean is, you got kids in high school in certain areas and even down in my city that are learning this stuff in high school. So, when they graduate high school, they're like 18 years old. just imagine being an 18-year-old. Your first job is paying you $40,000 to $50,000 straight out of high school, no
Yeah, I know.
college.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of money for an
Mm-hmm.
18-year-old. They may not even have to go to college, or they can fund their own college endeavors. Now, if you're a grown person with bills, kids, and all that stuff, it might not seem like a lot of money. You're like 40, 50. Why would I do that? But you got to understand that doesn't mean you're going to be stuck making $40,000, $50,000 for the rest of your life. Although you can, but if you're one of these people who you try to apply yourself, you go for a higher level certs, get your experience and skills up. And you can kick the doors open rather quickly to up your income to reach that six-figure and beyond mark. And I always give this example of my youngest brother. My youngest brother's in tech. He's 37. He's been doing IT for like 9 years. He started off at a help desk. Right now he does cybersecurity. He makes $130,000 a year,
Yeah.
and he has no college degree. He got a couple of IT certs, but he's only been in IT for 9 years grand total. He makes technically he makes more money than me, and I've been doing
Mm-hmm.
IT longer than him.
Yeah.
But so you can make money, but the money aspect there is really going to depend upon your dedication to upping your skills and making yourself more marketable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the entry level stuff that I teach is because I had a little discussion about this not too long ago on another YouTuber's channel. The entry level stuff that I teach is designed to get you in the door, but you can't become complacent. You'd be like, I got my A plus, net plus, I'm good. I mean, you can technically be good, but you can't, you're probably never going to reach the six-figure mark with just the A plus, net plus, and security plus. You got to, keep going. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things I say when getting into the IT as well. You gotta have that. You gotta keep that thirst for learning, cause once you start in it, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's cool, but in order to stay in it and be successful and continue raising your income from it, you
mhm.
constantly got to have that thirst for learning. So I agree with you there. That's why I always tie it back to the lab everyday thing, because that's how you continue, adding on to your skills by practicing this stuff. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You got to change your mindset and constantly want to, learn something new in order to be successful and keep pushing forward. But I got a question for you from the chat. It's from East Coast 100. He basically says, how do you get a security clearance while working a regular job or when you're in the military? And I know the answer. I just want to see if you know what it is.
So security clearances. So I've had a top secret clearance since 2003
Mm-hmm.
or 2004 when I first came into the military. Now, how the process works. So if you're going the military route, I don't know. Truth be told, I don't know exactly how I was elected to get a clearance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it was because of my job in the military.
Yeah.
But even within my particular MOS, it was 25 Bravo for those who were military, basically IT.
Mm-hmm.
There are a bunch of people who didn't have that high of a clearance that I had. But I think as far as the military goes, I know you gotta they're gonna check. Well, the military is gonna pay for your clearance first and foremost. That's the
Yeah.
best benefit about the clearance. If they want you to have a clearance, they're gonna pay for it because these things can cost thousands of dollars to conduct, probably tens of thousands or whatever. And they're gonna conduct background checks, credit history checks. They're gonna check, your criminal history. Obviously, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
check to see if you have any connections to foreign countries. Like they're gonna get extremely detailed up in this thing, right? To the point where, shout out to Master IT.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Master IT, he's in the chat right now. He and I used to be in the military at the same time, so he can also, answer this question. But they're gonna they're gonna get extremely detailed with it. But like I say, I've had one since 2004. But the reason I was given one is because a lot of the jobs in the military that I was working required me to be in a position where you had to have a clearance to work. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to work I used to work with the NSA, and so just to get into the building, even if you wanted to push papers around, you had to have a clearance to get into the building. Now with civilian jobs to get a clearance, um, this is kind of where being in the military is a benefit. So you're in the military, they give you a clearance. Well, that makes you more marketable to a civilian company. You know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that, you know, like Lockheed Martin or Boeing or something like that, or whoever else is out there, because that company doesn't, they don't have to pay for the clearance. The military already paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're trying to get a clearance and you're working for a civilian company, um, well, the company's going to have to pay for that clearance. Now, I don't know how you're going to go about selling them on the idea of giving you the clearance if you don't have one. It's possible to do. I don't know, but I've just been in the position. I've had one since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm slightly a little different as compared to somebody who's coming straight off the street in the IT. And then they're like, yo, I want to go get me an interim clearance or a secret clearance or a TS clearance. I'm not I'm not sure as to exactly how you would sell that to a company, because they're going to have to go out there and fund that endeavor for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, this isn't no cheap thing. You're
It's
talking
not.
probably like 10, 20,000, maybe even more, depending upon how deep into your history they got to get. So,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a benefit to having one, because, you know, we go back to what I was saying earlier about how much money you can make. So if you do get a clearance, that can put you in a position to make more money than somebody that doesn't have a clearance, because, you know, you'll be able to get access, not necessarily access to information, but you'll be able to work in certain environments where you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that clearance. And like I said, often, especially if you're dealing with like the government, like I said, I was working with the NSA, that
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes come with an automatic pay increase just cause, you
Yep.
know? So,
Yep. That's true, man. That's true. I've had a clearance as well for a while, and I've actually worked on a couple of government contracts, and I've actually seen some civilians with a clearance, and this was while I was
yeah.
in Afghanistan. They the company, like you said, had to pay for it. They footed the bill because of, and it was mainly because of the positions. They
Yeah.
were basically teachers, which, you know, majority, well, ain't no job in the military for, well, it is if you consider a drill sergeant, a teacher, but that's the only, it ain't no like regular teacher like in, high school teachers or college professors. There is no positions like that in the military. So uh the requirements for those positions needed someone with that background, like a professor, so they can come
Hmm.
up with curriculums and all that stuff. So that was like special cases. It was two guys I worked with. They were actually professors or teachers that taught like history or something like that. Anyway, they was able to get one. So there
Yeah.
are special cases where you can sell it on your company, like you said, to get that clearance, to get that position, because they have no choice, at the end of the
Hmm.
day. Most other positions, people coming out of military, they already have that clearance. So, it's no no money that the company has to foot to bring them in. So it does make you way more marketable when you have it. So I definitely
Yep.
agree with you there as well. But shout out to Wizard Customs. I definitely appreciate it. He says keep this show going. I will, man. I'm gonna keep trying to bring in people that are in the tech field, that work in the tech field, and try to get them to talk about their experiences as well as their background, to try to help someone get into the field. I definitely appreciate it. As well as Master IT, shout out to you. He says tech is a marathon, not a sprint. Y'all keep grinding. G with the gems. Yeah, he is dropping a bunch of gems. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I wanted to bring him on, bro. He always.
And and
Oh, go
and
ahead.
shout out, no, I'm saying shout out to Master IT. I know this guy personally, so
Mm-hmm.
he and I used to work in the military at the same time. We was in the same battalion, and we taught IT together. So he's another guy out there
Mm-hmm.
that's extremely thorough about teaching IT as well. So
Yeah, and yeah, he came on. I was able to get him on, a while back, and he talked about the courses that he has as well. So check him out as well if you guys are interested. Master IT, shout out to him. I follow him on Instagram. He always putting out the funny memes, basically trying to help people get into the IT, into the IT field. So yeah, definitely appreciate it. Um, I guess the next thing I kind of wanted to ask you was it was another question I actually seen. So let me scroll up right fast to try to find it. But shout out to a few people I'm seeing. Mike M, good to see you. DC, Eska, I don't want to mess up your name, man. IS or I Scandura, whatever. I'm sorry, man. Sorry to mess up your name, bro. Shout out to you, Kenneth Colin. What's up, man? How you doing? I ain't like saying that name, but shout out to you, bro. Definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Um, it was a question. Let's see. Once the live is over, hit me up, G. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um. So, programming languages. Let me just throw this out there. Any that you recommend or whatever, for people
Uh,
to try to learn if they trying to get into it.
so I'm not your local resident expert programmer, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give the same, standard answers everybody else gives.
Yeah.
Learn Python.
Yep.
Because that's actually what I'm trying to learn. Whenever I got a little downtime, I try to learn a little couple things here and there. But I've heard plenty of people in the past and other programmers on various YouTube channels. They always say start with Python, so I'm following their recommendations on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's what I've been doing too. Because I'm not no programmer either. I had some experience programming. Different things like I started out learning VBA, and once you kind of understand the concept of programming and the um the different aspects of it, it can apply across the board, almost across the board. Yeah, it's certain syntaxes that are different. You know what I'm saying? The way you say certain things or type certain things. You know what I'm saying, in the code, but essentially the concepts are the same. So I
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. Now, since you a veteran and you brought it up or whatever, and I'm a veteran as well, do you know of any other resources for vets out there to try to help them get into? Is that something that you're gonna incorporate as well in what you're doing?
Uh, so
I know I'm throwing you off.
no, well, no, you're not. I'm trying to think. So, like I say, I got out the army after 13 years.
Hmm.
I went back to school for my graduate degree using my GI Bill. So that's a obviously a benefit that a veteran could use as their GI Bill to pay for a formal college, and I believe you can also use it for paying for tuition at a tech college if
Hmm.
you want to go that route. Um, there may be some other programs out there. I personally haven't looked into them because I haven't really had a need to look into them that deep.
Yeah.
But if I were to go the route of trying to start my own little IT school here in Orlando, out in my local community, and I go like the not for profit route or something, or maybe even the for profit route, it just depends. That's probably something I'm going to have to look into because I do come across a lot of vets down here in Orlando
Hmm.
that when they discover that I do IT, they oftentimes ask me how to get into it and can they use their benefits. And my go-to answer has always been, go, call the VA. They got all the answers because I don't know all the answers, but I do know the GI Bill can be used towards college. Matter of fact, I want to say I met a retired first sergeant. That's an E8 for those of you who don't know, but retired first sergeant about a year ago who was actually going through an IT boot camp down here. And matter of fact, I had a friend that was doing this, and I want to say that they were actually using a portion of their GI Bill. Now, so there you got the GI Bill, and then there's this other thing that's where it's like a separate pot of money. I can't remember what it's called, where you can use it strictly for vocational training. And I believe that they can use that money to send you to tech school or even to pay for like an IT boot camp of sorts. But
Hmm.
when I was getting out the army, ACAPing, basically ACAP is basically the process you go through for getting out the military for all you non-military folks. They was telling me about this, but that was like 6 years ago. I really can't remember exactly what the
Hmm.
conversation was about. But I would imagine that there are programs out there to help vets get educated into tech. I'm pretty sure if you just type in, something in the Google search bar, VA programs to help vets get into tech. I'm pretty sure the stuff that I just stated will pop up. And there might be some other stuff out there, but oh, there it is. Matter of fact, Master IT put it in the chat. He
Yep.
says vocational rehab. That was the actual name of the thing I was thinking of. So, like I said, I know of the GI Bill and I know of vocational rehab. Vocational rehab might be the program if you're a vet that can actually help you pay for tech college and or IT boot camps. So that's pretty much what I know about that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Yeah. And
And somebody else said vet tech program. I've never heard of that, but that might be something else to look at as well.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I actually see it now. I'm finna post a link as well. So for all you military vets out there, it's not too late to actually get into IT. You can use if you haven't used your, GI Bill up or, and you want to get into the tech field or um things out here that can assist you, help you get into the field. So I definitely appreciate you, covering that or whatever, talking about that. Because I know it's a lot of vets that come through and talk in the chat every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Because they know I'm a vet. So
Mhm.
those resources out there, they're all available, just gotta search and look for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So now are you planning on incorporating uh um a cloud course like Cloud Plus?
So I've been talking about that as well. So like I said, the stuff that I put up is all entry level. So I've had
Mm-hmm.
people ask me, "Oh, do you teach CCNA, penetration testing, Cloud Plus, Linux Plus, all kind of stuff, man." Some of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff I got to go get certified in before I even teach it. But
Mm-hmm.
if I were to do it, it would be behind a paywall. If I were to, do the model of, making the videos and you doing the self-taught method, or but I was thinking about at least the cloud perspective because I got a family member that does tech down here, and this person's been dealing with VMs and cloud. He's like a guru in this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to actually do something like that, and I can get my family member on board, that might be something relegated towards like some in-person training of sorts. I don't know. So, but basically, I guess what I'm saying is, any higher level certs beyond A plus, Net plus, Security plus, that stuff will have to be behind a paywall because the thing is, this stuff takes up a lot of my time. I
Yeah.
don't mind doing it, but like I said, I'm a one man band operation over here. But this stuff takes up a lot of time to try to put together material that you all can use and go out there and hopefully successfully pass your certification on the first try. so
Mm-hmm.
um, so that will be those are some possible options. I'm not putting anything in stone right now. So
Okay. 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 Yeah, and you like the second person I've met that actually um worked with the NSA. That's super cool. How was it working? Well, whatever you can say. I don't want to
well
pin you down. How was it working with the NSA? Or
well I was working with the NSA for what year was it? 2007 to 2010, right before I went to Afghanistan.
hmm
So I was on Fort Gordon. So there's an NSA compound up in the DC, Maryland area, and then there's one in Augusta, Georgia, on Fort Gordon. I was down there.
okay.
When I was there, I was still doing IT work. I was just
hmm
doing it for the NSA. Now there were some other things that I had to do in conjunction with just regular basic, going around fixing printers and resetting username and passwords. Because my particular office where I worked at, I like to say it was probably the most important room in the entire building because on the other side of my office was a whole bunch of I like to call it a little mini data center, but it was just a whole bunch of devices over there
hmm
that was worth probably man, I have to go look at my NCOERs, but it was probably worth like 100 to 200 million dollars
Wow.
worth of stuff over there that was designed to make sure communications were effective.
hmm
And because some of the stuff that we was dealing with, we had people, this is all publicly known information, but
Yeah.
they had people in the building that their whole mission in life was to come to work, put headphones on,
hmm
and listen to cell phone conversations of people halfway around the world.
Wow.
So we had to make sure that the circuitry and everything was up and running 24/7 so that
Man.
these people can do whatever the heck it is that they were doing. And so anything went down, any lights went red,
hmm
we had to be on it. But essentially I worked in a building where there were no windows. I would
Yeah.
go to work. It'd be dark outside. I get off work after doing 12 hours. It'd be dark outside when I go home. But it was very high speed, very important stuff. And that was part of the reason why they had me get a top secret clearance, because some of the crazy systems in there we were dealing with that are vital to playing an intricate role to the overall national security. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's super cool, man. That's dope right there, though. You know
I
what I'm
mean, it
saying?
sounds dope until listen, I'm not trying to, but because people throw out those titles. Oh, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA. Man, it
Mm-hmm.
sounds cool till you get in there. You're like, man, I'm really in here doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
it looks great on my resume. I put it that
Oh
way
yeah.
because I need to go out there and get me another job. They're like, wow, you work for the NSA, you got a TS clearance. Come on in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It makes my life a lot easier. But those 3 years I was in there, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was having the time of my life.
Yeah.
I was in there working 12-hour shifts, B,
Oh
to the
yeah.
point I'm talking about 4 or 5 days a week, to the point where it was hard for me to put in vacation time sometimes. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So it wasn't all peaches and cream. But after it's all said and done, it helps my resume shine and glow like a mug compared to the
Mm-hmm.
average person out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 I heard people get burnt out over that. Well, it all depends on what job you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And yours was very important based on what you were saying. You
Yeah.
just got to keep these systems up and running. So it can be stressful. You know what I'm saying? But also, you know, cool as well. So, but yeah. So that's pretty much all the questions I have for you. But if there's anything else you want to talk about on your, as far as what you're doing on your channel, or any future things, or what you got going on your site.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so like I say, my main focus with the TechG channel is just to keep creating content. Because some people ask me why I created this channel. It was really created. One, it was created because another content creator was talking slick to me one day about basically asking me, well, what you do for the black community, right?
Yeah, I
It was
remember
one of
that
those
combo.
conversations, right? And so at the time, I couldn't provide any evidence of what I do other than saying, yeah, I work in tech. I've taught people. I've helped teach hundreds of people IT. And he was like, well, prove it. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to prove it? I'm supposed to call people up on the spot. Like, how does that work? So I was like, I'll just create a YouTube channel teaching it, right? And so the initial reason was to, I'm gonna go out here, put this channel up, and I'm gonna try to help a bunch of black folks out in IT, because, we all engage in these conversations on YouTube. Those of us who run around in these black YouTube spaces, people are always talking about tech solutions, this solution, that. I was like, well, I don't have all the solutions in life, but I know two things well. I know the military and I know IT. So I can teach you how to get into IT in case you don't want to join the military. So that was initially my solution to the community. But as the channel started growing, because I think we're over like 4,000 subs, I started posting content on it last year. I've had a lot of people gravitate towards the channel, white, black, whatever. Everybody's out there getting some of this work. You know what I'm saying? To go out there and help them get IT certification. So,
Hmm.
so my mission is just to keep growing the channel. Just doing my part, trying to educate people on IT, stressing the importance of it, because we're not going back to the era of the Flintstones, where like you're gonna come into contact with IT in some form or shape or whatever. You don't have to become an IT expert to your level, my level, or anybody else's level, but you can at least get some baseline understanding. And also, you can use this to if let's just say you got kids, middle school, elementary school, and they don't have any type of STEM program. Man, YouTube, channels like mine, yours, Master IT, you got options out there to where you can get your kids schooled up so that they can be competitive in the 21st century, so that they can learn these things that other children are getting access to in their schools that your child may or may not be getting access to. So that's another reason why I created the channel, in addition to my ultimate vision of trying to go out into my actual community and set up shop and directly impact these kids face to face, or young adults face to face, or whatever. So, but overall, that's just what I'm doing, man. Just
Mm-hmm.
video by video, slow process until, you know, I become YouTube rich and I can hire some people. But
Yeah.
until then, I got to grind it out one video at a time when I have time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I agree, man. Yeah, that's dope, man. I'm I'm very trying to think of the right word, man. I fully support your mission. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm trying to say, man. So
Yeah.
anything I could do to help you, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I already talked to you, outside of YouTube, but anything you need, you know what I'm saying, you always welcome to ask me. You know what I'm saying? Is
Nah,
anything I
you're a
can do
great
to help.
help because listen, y'all. So just to give you a perspective on Keep It Techie, how valuable I think he is. I was at work yesterday. What was it, yesterday or the other day?
Mm-hmm.
And me and my coworker were trying to solve a problem with a Linux machine, and it had to do with trying to install VirtualBox on Ubuntu, and we got all that figured out, but we had issues trying to spin up a Windows machine in the VirtualBox. It kept giving us this error that we couldn't solve, and I went all over YouTube trying to find an answer. I went to the blog boards. I was like, let me call Keep It Techie. So I called him. Hey man, what is the problem with this computer? And he's over here helping me and my coworker in real time. I'm like, and my coworker's like, who's this? I'm like, oh, this is dude I know on YouTube, man. So he makes a lot of videos. He's a Linux expert out in these streets. So he gonna get us right. So you helped us out because the solutions because I don't know what the heck, I forgot what it was. Whatever you told us to do, we went out there and did it. And we got it fixed for the most part. I think we still ran into another bug, but
Okay.
um now you're very valuable too. So it ain't just so I guess what I'm saying is, these relationships that we forge and form, I know everybody likes to watch us talk about tech, but reality is I call him or I reach out to him, not every day, obviously, but whenever I got an issue, especially if it's something related to Linux, he's like, Keep It Tech is like the first person I always tell people to go holler at. Whether people asking me in my comment section on my channel, they'll be like, "What about Linux? Go see Keep It Techie." Like I said, it's getting to the point where I'm actually calling him up at my job, asking him for advice on the spot. Like, how do you fix this problem, bro? Because I'm not the Linux dude like you. So, that's just one area. But
Mm-hmm.
and then shout out to Professor Black Ops. He's another brother. He's a cybersecurity expert.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he knows all about Security Plus. And then, like I said, shout out to Master IT. He's another dude out there as well that I know personally. My thing is we all can come together like Voltron around here and really get it popping somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that would be, but
Yeah.
but we got between just the four people I named, myself, Keep It Techie, Professor Black Ops, and Master IT. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing somebody, so forgive me if I didn't give you a shout out. There's no excuse as to why we black people couldn't take advantage of all this knowledge and experience and education and well experience or whatever we got to really get people into IT and understanding it beyond just the consumer standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole gang of things we can do. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. I agree. And shout out to Professor Black Ops as well. He always putting out these videos, man. I really he's valuable in his community as well. And shout out O'Shea Lennox, good to see you, man. But Professor Black Ops did bring up a question right fast before we leave, but he said, "What is TechG thinking of the U.S. government getting a grade of C in cybersecurity? Have you heard about that? Or I haven't heard about it."
I haven't heard about that.
Okay,
I
I can
don't even
speak
know
to it.
how. Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't even know how they grade this, but yeah, I don't know. You probably have to answer that
Well,
question.
one thing I could say, with the government, we all know this because we worked in the government. But me, you, and Professor Black Ops, but they always behind when it comes to upgrading stuff,
Yeah,
and it's not because of they funding or anything. It's because they want to make sure the new software that's coming out is gonna line up with what they need, as well
that's
as
true.
no security holes. So if they get something and it's patched good and it's still, you know, within the life, they'll keep it going, you know, until the end of life. And a lot of times they upgrade things at the last minute. Like I was on a contract a while back where um I think this was before Windows 7 went EOL end of life. And
Mhm.
they were rushing last minute to upgrade all the Windows 7 computers to Windows 10. They just always behind when it comes to the government. So that's one thing. And also with the cloud, you know what I'm saying? Most, you know, government agencies or whatever, you know, they not in the cloud yet. They gonna be moving to the cloud. I suspect, you know, soon. I seen an article a while back, something about them moving to the cloud eventually. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but I think that's why their grade is so low when it comes to stuff, because they use older technology, or it takes a while for them to upgrade to the newest and or latest technology. That's my opinion. I don't know if you think it otherwise.
I mean, it makes sense. Like I say, I would have to see exactly what's the criteria that they're using to dish out this grade. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would imagine what you stated is a possibility because, yeah, when I was in the military, you know, what was it, 2000? I was at the schoolhouse on Fort Gordon in 2010. I think we were using Windows 7, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken. And everybody else was on Windows 8 or Windows 10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but like you stated, the reason why that is because the U.S. military, at least the U.S. military, they go through and they pretty much you got to have like all the bugs worked out of an operating system for the most part. You know, try to keep this in the simplest explanation before the military will roll it out across, you know, across the
Mm-hmm.
platform. And that's why they're always like 1 or 2 operating systems behind, which can translate into being 1 or 2 years behind. So I don't know if that's a part of the grading system or if another aspect of the grading system could be how well they respond to, you know, cyber attacks. You know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine, but like I said, I guess I would need more information as to how they actually like what's the criteria for the grade. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Um, Shout out to Zero. I see him in the building. I just interviewed him 2 weeks ago. Shout out to him. He say Linux people spend all their time figuring out how to set gateways. By the time they get on the internet, they're sleepy. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's sometimes with Linux, it is tough. You do run into, you know, bugs that you have to fix because, you know, different hardware and all that stuff, and uh, certain things you can't just get working right. I mean, they're making a lot of improvements with it, especially with the major distributions out there. Um, you know, as far as it working with different hardware and not having many issues. But yeah, it is though. Sometimes, you know, you run into issues where it takes you about an hour to figure out what a problem is, and it's something simple a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, um, but shout out to you, Gabe. I mean, sorry about that. Shout out to you, TechG. I appreciate you coming through. I said Gabe.
Call me Gabe A
Yeah, I
out
know,
here.
right?
Shout out to Gabe A.
Shout out to Gabe, man. Um, Let me see. It was nothing else. Anyway, shout out to you, TechG, for coming through, man. I definitely appreciate you doing this, man. And shout out to everybody that came through. You know what I'm saying? All this is to try to help people get into the field. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it does some help, you know, by getting people into the field or whatever. You know what I'm saying? By putting out or allowing people to come onto my platform to talk about, you know, their experiences as well as what they offer. Like, so check out TechG, man. He got a lot of great information over there, great things that he's putting out there to try to help people get into the field. And salute to everybody that came through again, and peace.